Hey guys, welcome back to Puffalado, and welcome back to Café Enchanté. Last episode was not great. We found out that Mikado's girlfriend is the little stuffed animal that he carries around, and it is a monster. It's a non-human that cannot speak, so it's like considered type 2, and then it sucks the blood out of him, and it's Rindo's little sister. So I don't know what happened in the past, but I'm assuming we're going to find out. I'm very nervous. Let's get started. Mr. Rindo discloses to me the identity of Ku. Despite the shocking revelation, time goes on as usual, bringing about a new and normal day. And so, I'm here as usual, opening the cafe and greeting the guests inside.
ことね。確かに今日は濃いめが飲みたいから豆を多めにってお願いしたけどさ。
Oh no.
さすがにちょっとやりすぎじゃない？
もうかれこれ1時間は豆をひいている。
I hope he's not drinking that, because that's a lot. What? Okay, I lied. How are things today? Absolutely not normal. This isn't good. I need to act normal.
確実に昨日 GPM で何かあったようだが、尋ねるべきだろうか。
まあね。とはいえ、本人が特に相談したがってないのに、俺たちがしゃしゃり出るのもね。
Oh, they're so thoughtful.
何か彼女に問題が？業務内容に若干の滞りは見られますが、健康状態は良好かと。
I'm glad that Eel's able to just see that her vital signs are in order.
肉体っていうか、あれは精神的な何かだろうから。
見てらんねえな。おい、ことね。
Huh? Oh, are you ready to pay? It comes out to 23 million.
おい、高えよ、ぼったくりが。
$23 million. Oh, wait a sec. Let me calculate that again.
つーか、会計とか一言も言ってねえし。
Really? I'm so sorry. Then you want steak?
いや、それはまあ食いてえけどよ。とりあえず。
Got it. I'll be right back.
おい。
Oh.
言ってしまいましたね。
He tried.
今日のあいつ何なんだよ。こっちの言うこと右から左すぎんだろ。
今のとこ原因不明だけど、とりあえずはすごい重症だね。
大丈夫であろうか。
Yeah, I don't think she should be cooking in this condition. Like, I let out a sigh after going into the kitchen. I've messed up everything today. I have to compose myself. I keep telling myself to get it together as I grill a steak for Ignis. But... Oh, God.
そっか、ごめん。確かにそろそろ食事の時間だったね。僕の可愛い恋人は花より団子だったかな。ほら、くーちゃん、どうぞ。
What a scene. I instinctively cover my mouth just thinking about what happened yesterday. A former human turned non-human? And its real identity was Mr. Rindo's younger sister. That's horrifying. Mikado was talking to Ku happily as if it wasn't supposed to be a doll. And then Ku moved and bit into Mikado's scarred arm. Behind me was Mr. Rindo, who was looking on as if he had lost all hope in something. I can't get the image of what happened out of my mind. A former human. A human turned non-human. I've never heard of that, even after I took ownership of Enchanté. I wonder what happened to Mr. Rindo's younger sister. I have no idea, or even the slightest clue of how that was possible, but if that did happen, would myself, my mother, and everyone I know be worried of me turning into a non-human? No amount of thinking is gonna help me out here. Also, like, I don't know why she came to that conclusion. Like, just because, I mean, assuming that she wants to date Rindo or something, like, just because you're with him doesn't mean you're turning into a non-human, right? There must have been some circumstance that happened. There's no frickin' way. Like, ugh, yikes. I had an opportunity. I was thinking about using the opportunity to ask Mr. Rindo questions, but he looked like he was in pain. At the very least, I was in no position to ask him to relive whatever happened. Which is why I left as soon as I could once Karya finished up his medical checkup. I wonder if Mr. Rindo will come today. Oh, I better get back to Ignis's order. Poor Ignis is just like, why? Well, I have a feeling I misheard what he said. I better get back out there. As soon as I serve the steak, Ignis eats it in an instant, and then... Oh god. Can I ask why everyone is staring at me? Why are they looking at me?
いや、今日は随分と上の空だったでしょ。常連として馴染みある大切な天使を心配してるだけだよ。
琴音、もしよければ我らに話してみてはくれぬか。何かしら力になれるやもしれん。
Well,
悩みの種にもよりますが、物理的な排除でも構いませんよ。
さらっと危ないこと言うんじゃねえ。ともかくこっちとしちゃお前がそのままなのは迷惑だしな。無理にとは言わねえけどよ。適当に相談してみたらいいんじゃねえの。
he's right. I'm not helping, and it isn't good for Enchanté if I stay like this. But it isn't that simple. I mean, it's not my place to share something so personal without Mr. Rindo's consent. Oh, yikes. We can either talk or not talk. I feel like if we talk, Rindo's not gonna trust us moving forward just because it is something really personal. Like, he didn't even tell us. He was so hesitant. And I want to say don't talk. I really think that that's probably the best course of action. Let's do that. This isn't about me, but everyone here knows Mr. Rindo. To add, I do trust everyone here. If so, I can only say so much.
ゆっくり君のペースで話せることだけでいいよ。言葉もぼかしたり選んで構わないからさ。
I nod, hearing Misyr's kind and warm words. Keeping what I know to myself isn't going to get me answers. After some thought, I decide to talk about what I heard, but without delving into too many details. Do you mind if I ask a question? Is there a way for humans to become non-humans?
はあ？人間が人外になるだ？
カリアのように自分を人間だと考えて生きていた例を除けば、我が知る限り聞いたことはないが。
私もカヌスと同様です。そういった事象を観測したことはありません。
お前の言ってんのは根血とかじゃなくて普通の人間。それこそお前自身が人外になり得るかっつう話だろ。
Well, yes, exactly.
俺はこいつらに比べりゃ大した年月は生きちゃいねえが、それでもそんなのは聞いたことねえな。
Canas, Il, and Agnes all said they've never heard of that, but... How about you, Misyr? His brows twitch as he slowly begins to speak.
そうだね。俺もみんなと同じで聞いたことはないけど、俺はありえない話じゃないと思うよ。
Okay. Huh?
そんなに驚くようなことかな。
Well, yes.
じゃあさ、そもそも人間と人外の違いって何だと思う？
Huh? Well, the appearance?
とは言っても、俺と君はそんなに変わらないじゃない？手足が2本で目が2つ、鼻と口が1つ。
But doesn't Kororo count as a non-human too? Kororo doesn't have legs. Whatever. I think I'm just nitpicking.
実際、外見からは人間と区別がつかない人外だって、それなりにいるよね。
Oh, well, okay.
イルやイグニスだってそうだし、アヌスもさ、兜があるときはパッと見じゃ難しくない？
So what if everyone's actually human and they all became non-humans because of some big mistake or some... Oh my god, oh god, the lore. I suppose. But you guys can use magic and all kinds of superpowers and such.
これはへりくつかもしれないけど、こっちから見れば人間も大概だよ。例えばスマホとかさ、下手な魔法よりもずっと魔法の領域に足突っ込んでるし、世界の裏側にも連絡できるとか、結構無茶苦茶だと思うけどね。
Well, I understand what Misyr's getting at. Misyr continues the conversation, but I can't help but frown as I try to digest what he's saying.
俺は人間と人外の境って実はそんなに大したものじゃないと思うんだよね。そもそもその区分自体が誰かが勝手に決めたものだし、明確な定義もないしね。
Misyr's like wise beyond his years. Like, good God. Well, I guess, but... Oh, another flashback to this. Mr. Rindo has kept telling me that humans and non-humans are different. When I saw Ku move yesterday, the first thought that came to mind was that it was a non-human, but even so, Mikado was treating it like it was a human being. Which means that, to Mikado, Ku is more than just a non-human. In other words, whether it was a human or non-human, it didn't matter. So what makes us different?
Oh yeah, また固まってしまいました。
たく、何考え込んでんだかな。
どもあれ、邪魔はしない方が良さそうだ。我らはテーブル席にでも移るとしよう。
And everybody just left without even saying anything to her. She's just closing her eyes and thinking. Mr. Rindo, I wonder how he views humans and non-humans. As for Ku, I wonder what really happened with his younger sister.
ことね、リンドはさ、秘密主義なやつだから、何かを知りたいなら踏み込んでやりな。
Whoa, Misyr knows it's about Rindo?
心を許してるように見えるくせに、あいつは一歩だけ下がってるんだよ。
Because we didn't say it was Rindo, right? What?
まあ、それが人間でいうとこの大人的な対応ってやつなのかもだけど。
Unless we mentioned it beforehand and they just didn't show the like dialogue or something, but it's weird. Misyr. Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. Oop, there it is. I'm so sorry. Wait, I never said anything about Mr. Rindo.
ねえ、そんなの今更じゃない。昨日の今日でそんなに落ち込んでさ。
Wow.
GPM に行ったんだから、そこで関わるやつなんてあっという間に絞られるでしょ。
You're right. Misyr chuckles, hearing me agree. Mr. Rindo acting like an adult. I reflect back on my interactions with him. More flashbacks. Woo! Mr. Rindo does treat me well, but he never seems to be vulnerable with me. I guess you could say he didn't let me get too involved with him, as far as I could tell.
それと僕の場合、業務が特殊すぎて、大抵の人に愚痴をこぼせないんだよ。だから、気兼ねなく話せる相手が欲しいんだ。
I recall him saying something like that. Well, he hasn't vented to me yet, that's for sure.
君には知られたくなかったんだけどね。
Mr. Rindo seemed like he didn't want to talk much back then, either. Maybe it's because he thinks he's going to get hurt if he starts talking about something as personal as this. I can relate to that a little bit. I'm afraid he thinks of me as a stranger. Just the thought of it brings a sharp pain to my heart. It's been a while since I've been at Enchanté. I thought I was pretty close to Mr. Rindo. He's always been kind and thoughtful. But maybe his kindness was just a way to put some distance between us. I don't mind him discussing things with me or even opening up and being vulnerable.
君とは対等な立場でいたいからね。下手にごまかすのはやめとこうと思って。
In order to be treated as an equal, he needs to open up to me. But the fact that Mr. Rindo doesn't talk to me candidly must mean that I'm not an important person to him. That's very sad. That's like the most depressing train of thought. Well, I guess in his eyes, I'm just a kid and too young to be talking with about his painful past. That's a weird sentence. It's frustrating, to be honest. I have this strange sensation in my heart the more my mind races. As I kept thinking, or rather pouting, I hear a chuckle from a certain someone.
だからさ、思いっきり近づかないと、あいつはすぐ逃げちゃうと思うよ。
Poor Misyr was just sitting there the whole time. He didn't even move to the other table. He was just sitting there waiting for Kotone to respond. Up close and personal. But isn't that a bit much?
大丈夫、大丈夫。リンドはきっとそうは思わないよ。
I feel like Misyr and Rindo have like a past or something.
それなりに付き合いも長いし、本当に嫌がることはわかるつもりだよ。まあ、あれで奥手なとこもあったりで、手こずりはするかもしれないけどね。
I feel like I called him conservative in a different episode too. He's definitely conservative. Like, oh god. I see. Thank you, Misyr.
どういたしまして。うちの大事なマスターが悩んでるのは常連として見過ごせないからさ。
Oh, Misyr's so sweet.
けど、いろんな意味でのライバルの後押しなんて、俺も大概善人だね。
Misyr says with a bright smile as he places an order for a refill of coffee. He's right. If I want to know more, I need to get closer to him. Hearing Misyr's words of advice is making me feel more confident in myself. I grab the grinder and try to focus so that I won't make the same mistake as the first cup. Yeah, I hope she's not like wasting the beans that she ground up, you know? She grounded for an hour. In the afternoon on another day, I'm out walking down the street with Ignis in tow. I asked Karia to watch the cafe so I could buy some supplies. With my grocery bag filled with meat, we head on back to Enchanté.
たく、わざわざ昼寝してた俺じゃなくて、どうせ呼ぶならカヌスあたりにしとけよ。あいつなら尻尾振ってついてくんだろ。
Canis is in Medio. Mind you, you were the one eating up all that meat in the cafe. Ignis's mouth twitches a bit.
あったよ。その分、うまいもん作れよな。
You got it. With Ignis half compliant, I take out my phone. Weird. I haven't received a single message from Mr. Rindo today. I was planning on asking Mr. Rindo more questions when he comes to the cafe to discuss coup, but these past few days, Mr. Rindo hasn't shown up. I've sent messages to him and he usually responds with he's too busy. Not much of a reply, really. Maybe Mr. Rindo doesn't want to talk, period. He could be avoiding Enchanté now so that he doesn't have to put up with me asking him questions. You wouldn't have found out. I keep hearing what he said in my head.
なんだよ。
Oh, well, I was just thinking that Mr. Rindo hasn't stopped by recently.
はあ？あいつに文句あんなら直接言いに行きゃいいだろ。新宿なんざすぐそこじゃねえか。
Well, Ignis is right. It's not like anything is stopping me from traveling such a short distance to see him. Then again, I don't think I have the guts to barge in on his work just to ask him why he isn't texting me. Then again, it's probably better for me to see him in person instead of trying to get an answer from him by text. And even if I tried to get him to answer through text, he'd probably just completely ignore it.
なんだよ、変なやつだな。
I can tell Ignis is staring at me. It's not surprising, considering I can't stop frowning the more my mind wanders. I look up and notice a park up ahead. Huh?
え？今度はどうしたよ？
Over there. Ah! I noticed some guys standing in front of the park wearing suits that reminded me of a certain organization. They seem to be preventing a mother and child from entering.
申し訳ありません。
何？
公園内の遊具に一部破損が見られまして、倒壊の可能性があるため、一時的に立ち入りは禁止となっております。
あら、そうなの？公園で遊んじゃダメなの？
申し訳ありませんが、お引き取り願えますでしょうか。ごめん。
Whoops. Broken playground equipment? Wait a second. Ignis, aren't they?
GPM の連中だな。つまりは、なんかあんだろう。
Ignis. I doubt there's a need to turn everyone away just because of broken equipment. I can only assume there's something there that the GPM wants to keep people away from. I wonder what's going on.
そりゃ GPM 絡みっつったら人外がどうのこうのだろうよ。
If that's the case, maybe Mr. Rindo's around. I stare at the park from afar, trying to find someone I may know there.
お前は一人で何面白い顔してんだ？そんなに気になるなら直接行ってみりゃいいだろう。
Huh? But they won't let anyone in.
こんなもん封鎖のうちに入らねえよ。
Ignis, no! We're gonna break the law. Oh god! God! Let me go! Without the chance to reply, Ignis lifts me off the ground. Oh my god! Somehow everything's upside down. My body bounces up and down with every step. Before I knew it, I'm in the park.
な、余裕で入れただろ。
Ignis, no! We're breaking the law! I don't even tell me before you do something like that.
ああ、はいはい、悪かったよ。とりあえず静かにしろって。騒ぐと GPM の連中が寄ってくるだろ。
Oh my god, I love Ignis. We definitely are doing Ignis's route next. Just keep that in mind. The park looks nice. There's no playground though, so I don't know what they were talking about. I cover my mouth and look around. But no matter how hard I look, I don't see anything strange in sight. Huh? There's nothing going on.
みてえだな。って言っても、この公園は広いしな。単純にこっち側じゃなくて。
Oh! Before Ignis could finish his thought, a roar is heard from the center of the park. And we're gonna stop here. Oh god. This is like, I like Rindo. I think that he's very mysterious. I hate how much Kotone is so like passive in this route. Like she's not like reaching out to him and being like, why aren't you talking to me? I don't know. I felt like she was more aggressive in Caunus's route, where she like actually confronted him after everything had happened, and she was like, yo, like, what the fuck? And Caunus explained himself, you know, like I appreciate that. But in this route, she's always like, oh, like wondering about Mr. Rindo, and then she like texts him and he doesn't respond, or he says like, I'm too busy, and then she's just like, oh, okay, he's too busy, I'm not gonna talk to him. It's like, what? Why? Just say something. God. So next episode we're gonna find out what's in the park, and hopefully we won't die. Woo!